Welcome back, everybody, to the Intoxicated Sports Report. He's Gates Emoji. I'm Emerson Hip. And we got someone in the Peanut Gallery today, the Peanut Gallery King himself.
Well,
Garrett knew who you were.
Hello.
Welcome back to the show, my friend.
It's been a long time.
I don't think that bell's loud enough, Gage.
that was easy.
We are making our debut in the new studio, if you will.
Yes.
My new living arrangement.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Proud of you.
Left-handed handshake.
Great place.
It is yet to be, fully set up, but work in progress.
I don't think the next time we're here, but
I hope the next episode we have it situated in maybe a different space of the house.
I
Yeah.
would think so too.
Yeah.
Because this couch is going to give me swamp ass.
Yeah.
I'm already halfway there.
Yeah.
I'm already halfway there, but it's okay.
100%.
We're here.
Yeah.
It's all good. Garrett, we're happy for you to be here. I think
Yeah.
last time you were here, funny enough, or you were with us, was Stanley Cup Final
At
last
my
year.
house.
Basically a year on the diet.
Yeah. Game 3,
Right.
when the Oilers went down 0-3.
Yes,
And we thought, oh, they're toast. We took it to a game 7.
What do we know?
they did,
I'm just saying. But yes, we're not watching.
but they still lost.
They did lose.
They still lost. Yeah, that game 7 was intense too.
It was.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, Garrett is he's our hockey, what's the word I'm looking for?
Insider's probably not the right word, but correspondent.
He is our
Correspondent.
hockey correspondent.
Yeah.
And he,
Former player.
yeah, former player. As much as he loves hockey, he doesn't like the idea of Canada winning the cup, so he's going against any kind of Canadian team.
This is the U.S. versus Canada battle.
Yeah, but you also hate Florida teams.
I do.
We've talked about
So
this
yeah,
before. So this is hard for you.
Yeah.
Back-to-back cups where it's Florida versus Edmonton. You're not going for Edmonton, 'cause that's Canada. But also you're going for a sunny state team that plays hockey.
yes, it's
You're like
it's
the last
very
resort.
frustrating. Indeed,
The duality of man.
it is. But I got to stick to my guns, and we got to keep the cup in the United States.
One day it'll be the Sharks in the cup final.
Exactly, and we can take that cup around the bay.
So last time the cup came back to Canada was like the 90s.
Like 93, I think. 94 maybe.
Ooh.
Montreal.
It's a long
Long
drought
time
for
ago.
them Canadians.
Before any of us were born, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was 93.
We've only seen American teams win.
Yeah.
We have.
And it's a Canadian sport, so
Yeah.
they need
It
to
was-
explain themselves.
Because you joke that it's an American sport.
It's an
which-
American sport.
Yeah.
We own it now.
The only time
On that
Canadian-
kind of residency, the Stanley Cup has been living in America.
Yeah.
And I think I might have mentioned it last year. Do we think, Maple Leafs fans or other fans of NHL hockey in Canada are rooting for Edmonton to bring the cup back to Canada, although it's not their Canadian team?
I do believe they're on the
I would
wagon.
think
Yeah.
that'd be
Yeah.
the national vibe.
'Cause-
Of like, we need to bring the cup back to Canada.
I think I talked to I believe it was either a Jets fan or a Calgary Flames fan about that, and they said, yeah, we're on, like, we root for the Canadian team.
and I can see them particularly hating Florida
Right.
winning over more of a traditional city.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I believe it was it last year that the Oilers beat the Flames to go to the final, and that's like the Battle of Alberta, right? Which is a huge rivalry, and
Was it?
or maybe it was
the Flames.
or maybe it was a few years ago where they beat them to go to the conference finals or something. But anyways, I think the Flames fans were saying, yeah, we hate them, but we're gonna,
Right.
they're gonna be who we root for going forward.
And I believe this. Did you know this is only the second Stanley Cup rematch since the 1980s?
Yeah, that's great.
Oh, I
I
did
think we
not
talked
know
about that
that.
last week, but yeah.
Well, just letting Garrett know.
Yeah.
Obviously.
No, yeah. I'm just saying, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Remember that you mentioned it, yeah.
Yeah,
So it doesn't happen that
well,
often.
Yeah, I was like, I
It doesn't
don't
happen that
ever
often.
remember.
Yeah. 'Cause,
back-to-back years of the same team.
Yeah, because when we talked about in the group chat about when Sidney Crosby won his first, it was off of a rematch coming off a loss to the Red Wings. So,
Oh, when Detroit was good.
yeah, it's been a long time.
And I gotta say it. I'm a McDavid guy. I'm rooting for the Oilers. I did last year. I know
That's fair.
You're also a McDavid hater, which I just found out an hour ago. So not only do you hate Canada, you hate Connor McDavid, who plays for a Canadian team.
And he's, the Canadian captain, if you will.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, no, it makes sense. But with that being said, what are you drinking?
The old trusty C-.
16-ounce
Coors
can,
Light.
too.
16-ounce can.
16-ounce.
Which, that's a pretty hard pickup.
That's power.
Six-pack?
Power guy. Yeah, 6-pack, 16-ounce can.
Yeah.
Do you see those that often?
No, I asked him where he got it. I was like, I just don't see those.
Chevron Browns Valley.
Yeah. All right. Good to know.
and the price wasn't bad.
Most expensive gas in town.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't go there.
I didn't get gas on it. Yeah.
Don't know
Yeah.
that for a fact, but I drive by past it every day. And I'm like, God damn, that's
Yeah.
a lot of money for gas.
Costco is literally like $1 cheaper.
I believe it. But you gotta drive all the way out to
Yeah, it
Costco.
takes $1 to get.
Exactly. So it's like, are you really getting that much?
It takes a whole $1 to get all the way out to that gas station.
Emerson and I are drinking Trumer Pills.
Yep.
It's a really, really good Pilsner like we talked about many times.
Great beer.
One of my faves.
You know, we had a C- here, Silver Bullet, on Sunday, I believe.
Yeah.
On ice, and it was just delightful.
It's hard to
I
beat.
have to tell you. I thought about you.
It's hard to
Thank
beat.
you.
Tasted fantastic. And it's just, you know, when you're helping somebody move or you've moved, which I know you've done many times, nothing like a moving beer.
Oh yeah.
Like midway
Great work beer.
midway
Yeah.
through a
Yeah.
beer.
Yeah.
or the
You
move.
just sweat it out a little bit
Yeah.
as you go.
Exactly.
You drink the
But
first
you-
one, you're like, oh.
Yeah.
That was just a glass of water.
Yeah. And
When
it's
you're really quenched for the water, and then you just have
A
half
cold
of
one?
Coors Light. Yeah, you're like, dude,
I'm good.
this thing, yeah. I'm hydrated and I feel better than I did 5 seconds.
Yes.
should we take a complimentary shot since Garrett's here?
Why not?
Or should we wait till later?
Nah, let's,
It's been a while. Let's do
or
it.
both.
let's get
Let's
the
do
juices
it.
flowing.
I haven't taken a shot with Garrett probably since my birthday.
It's been a fucking...
Ooh, yeah. it's
And I
been
probably
a minute.
did. I
No, that
probably
was-
did my
yeah.
birthday.
Yeah.
And what are you pouring up here?
It's
Looks like olive oil.
Dude, that's what I was saying.
It is olive.
It kind of looks like it would be olive oil.
So it's got like 16 different names on here, but it's Genepi Le Chamois from France.
Okay.
It is that stuff that would be comparable to chartreuse.
In the dessert shooters, of course,
Yes.
which Garrett
That
knows
live
all.
on.
Classic.
Which Garrett
yes.
knows all about these.
Very familiar with these.
We've definitely shot this on the show.
Shout out to
before.
Rubicon. Shout
Running
out
it
to
back.
Dover.
Running it
So
back.
shout out to Garrett for being here. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Good to see you. Yeah, that's easy money. Wait, oh. Woo.
It's very herbaceous. It's got a little like...
Hits you in the nose actually a little
Yeah.
bit.
Got
Did
a
we have
little-
that last week?
No. We had, I think we did amaretto last
That
week.
was okay. That
Yeah.
I think that's
That
what I
was a full
thought.
body experience.
Yeah, that hits you in the nose.
It's got a lot going on.
That clears the sinus.
Big flavor bomb.
Hey.
All right, so we are second intermission right here.
Yes.
3-2 Florida.
Garrett will
Game
try
one.
to keep us.
Yeah, you can be our
I
game
gotcha.
watcher.
Yeah.
Third period incoming.
I see we just jump into the news. You ready?
I mean, do we have to talk about the Giants? Do we have to?
Unfortunately, yes. They just started about 30 minutes ago. I'm kind of curious about the score.
Hey, he beat me to it.
Let's see what we got here.
The Giants
Down
have-
2-0 already.
Oh my god! The Giants have not scored more than 4 runs since the Obama administration. I think it's been like 15 games.
It has. I got that in the notes. This is game 3 of a 4-game series with the Padres tonight. They dropped both of the first 2 games in extra innings. Very unfortunate way to go down.
I know it's not the actual term, the ghost runner. I mean, I could go on a tangent. On that. It just sucks to lose that way.
Yeah.
And if they're not doing it in the playoffs, that's how you know they should get rid of it altogether.
Yeah, I've never been a fan of the Ghost Runner. I understood the reasoning, but that doesn't mean I like it necessarily.
And do fans really want the game to be over that quick?
I don't.
No. If I'm going to a game, I mean, okay.
Okay, here.
I mean, I don't
Yeah.
want to get going. Like, if I'm going to a game, I want it to last as long as it possibly can.
Right.
Totally.
Maybe not 18 innings like we mentioned before that we went to, but I want it to last as long as it can because I paid to be there.
Let's
Right.
put it this way: they're already speeding up the game with other clock rules, so
Yeah.
they're already jipping us.
It's too fast.
Yeah,
If you can't appreciate baseball being slow paced, then it's
Yeah.
not for you.
yeah.
100%.
And let's be real: like I see so many baseball stadiums that are still not full at all. So it's not like it's helped ticket sales.
You see that Rockies Marlins game?
Oh my god!
There was like 20 people.
That's
I
embarrassing.
mean, not that many, but I mean, probably.
It might have been a couple
Worse than
hundred.
an A's game?
Oh yeah.
Oh, it
like
was-
not even in the same.
And this was actually a major league stadium, not a minor league in
yeah,
Sacramento.
it looked really bad.
I'll show you after we're done. It was embarrassing.
It's embarrassing.
And I don't even know. That was probably midway through the game, the picture that I saw.
Yeah, I think a reasonable middle ground would be to have the 10th and 11th inning be played straight up, and then if it gets to the 12th inning, then you can do Ghost Runner. Because I understand like not wanting regular season games to go on forever because it's a regular season game.
I mean, and you also have the situations where,
You run out of pitchers,
or then
whatever.
let's say it's a 13 inning game, then the next game is a day game,
Right,
which
yes.
it kind of fucks you.
Yeah.
But still, it's like if they're playing it in the playoffs with no Ghost Runner, then
Right.
you got to just kind of keep it the same on both ends.
Right. No, I agree. But yeah. But I know you were mad mad about the Giants losing because of the Ghost Runner, so to speak. But they have won 4 times in extra innings this year, so it hasn't beat them that much. I think they're 4-3.
I do overreact when it comes to that. It seems like whenever I watch the Giants, which hasn't been a lot this year, unfortunately, but when I do, and it goes to extras, they always lose.
Yeah. No,
It's
yeah.
just tough. It's
They're
tough.
4-3, so the facts are the facts. But yes, you did mention the fact that they haven't scored more than 4 runs in a long time. It's now been 16 consecutive games.
Hey, come on.
They're averaging 2 runs a game in that span of time, and it's amazing that they're actually 7-9 in that span because the pitching has been incredible.
Well, they're lucky that they started the season out so well.
They are.
This is a major slump they're going through right now.
They are. The offense has been embarrassing. The team ERA over the last 16 games is 1.77. I counted it. If they had scored exactly 4 runs in every single one of those games, they would have won 14 out of the 16 games.
Of course.
Which is fucking insane. They won half that many. So hopefully the offense can get rolling again soon. The pitching has been outstanding, although the 9th inning has been a problem. Obviously, Ryan Walker got booted from the closer role. Camilo Duvall had a rough outing last night.
Which he's had that in the past, but he has pitched well this season.
Overall, yes, his numbers are good.
Yeah.
But, he had a rough
And
9th
those
inning
goddamn City Connects, throw them away. They cannot win in them, I'm telling you. We all hated the other ones,
Yeah.
but at least they won in those
They
ones.
did have a good
Sure.
record in those, yeah.
The new ones I like. Garrett, what do you think? You're a Jersey guy. We have not talked to you about this on air. The new Giants City Connect jerseys.
I like them, but I think for the vibe of the team, I don't.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I would wear it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't think it connects.
Well,
with
like,
that
it doesn't like connect with the city. Okay.
Yeah,
That makes
or
sense.
like
Yeah,
with
that's fair.
like with what
Well,
they're doing. Like, they're cool,
Yeah.
but they kind of give me like, oh, I'd wear that's like a music festival or like a
That's a good
rave
point, yeah.
or-
I saw one. I saw one at Bottle Rock.
Yeah,
There
like
you go.
they're super fun. But I guess too, like I think I said in a group text, was the logos reminded me of the Cookies logo, the beer brand.
Well,
So like, am I like, well, is that the connect? Or are we going like?
Well, there's like an enormous amount of reasons or like facts that are put into the making
What
of
was the
uniform.
reasoning or decision with that? The influence of that.
So like
jersey?
the font has something to do with like street art in the city, and then the
Like a
purple.
graffiti style?
Yeah, the purple is a throwback to like the New York Giants that they wore purple in like 1917 or something like that. And then like the waves of the on the jersey have something to do with the streets in San Francisco. There's just too many, which is like kind of why I
Right,
feel like it's
they didn't
ridiculous.
really pick an avenue.
Yeah, they just went with every.
They're like, we're
element.
gonna put every historical fact.
Exactly. And I
in
was
the
like, that's
one
just.
jersey.
I feel like you're trying too hard at that point.
I mean, was Cookies? Speaking of Cookies, isn't it from San Francisco or the headquarters? Is it
Yeah, because it's Burners Company.
That's funny. If
So
that,
yeah, so that's why I kind of like when my gut reaction or my initial was like, damn, like that looks like a logo and font you'd see at a dispensary. And it was just kind of funny. It was like, oh, are they going kind of like that angle? Like that's cool.
Would you wear one?
I would wear one.
Would you pay for one?
No.
Okay. Because that's like someone could gift it to you and you'd wear it, but you wouldn't
Totally.
buy it.
Yeah. Or if yeah, they were the
Yeah.
freebies at the gate kind of thing.
Gotcha.
I
Yeah,
think,
I'm not
I think the
gonna
jersey
have
by
to wear.
itself would be like an okay
I think
wear.
they're fine.
I wouldn't I wouldn't buy one either. But
But I also like wearing black, so like for me it makes
the
sense.
fact that they went black, I think, was huge because if they did like anything like super bright, like I mean, even the pitch white with the bright orange was just not a good.
No.
Did you like those? The old ones last year?
The old no.
No, not at all.
No.
Yeah.
My initial reaction, I was like, oh. And I'm a hat guy, and I was like, that hat's just god
Yeah,
awful.
yeah,
like,
that was
that
right.
cut.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, exactly.
hey,
but it was just like, damn, like they're really gonna go with this, and like that's their hat choice.
Yeah.
It was like that's just.
We talked
poor.
about the hat so much we put it in ISR jail. It's no longer in ISR
Yeah.
jail, but we did put it.
Yeah, it has been retired.
Right. Well,
I've
I'm
seen
gonna reoffend on that because that hat was.
no, it's out of
terrible.
it's out of jail. now.
Okay, it's terrible.
I've seen those in the wild
I know.
occasionally, and it's like.
People go and buy that.
Although I do think later on, like years down the line, those are going to be kind of like
Like it'll age well.
like a collector's item.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you got the old City Connect hat, you know.
I feel like that hat could be saved by one little tweak and like some like form of black just on there somewhere, but I don't know. It was not.
It's
just
just full orange
it's
and
too-
the white.
just not a good hat at all.
It was, but they won a lot in the uniforms.
Yeah, they did.
And I think probably why they went in black is because those ones were white. I feel like they probably need to do a full 180
exactly.
and do something completely different than what the other ones would.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you couldn't make anything too similar. No. It wouldn't have made sense. One positive note: Robbie Ray, NL Pitcher of the Month for May. 6 starts, 1.38 ERA for the whole month. That's dominant. He's been on fire.
pretty good.
Yeah, pretty damn good.
Pretty good.
Also, Lamont Wade Jr., her fan favorite, was designated for assignment today.
Lamont.
Having a really rough season, so not terribly shocking, but yeah, definitely one of those guys that
Forever Giant.
yeah, he kind of is in a weird way. He is.
A good Giant.
Yeah,
Good
very
Giant.
good Giant.
2021, he was great.
Yep, and then even last year and the year before, he was pretty solid. So, wish him the best. Hopefully, he finds somewhere to play and make a home. So now the Giants are 33-28 on the year, third in the NL West, 4 games back of the Dodgers coming into today. They gotta find a way to beat the Padres. They got swept in 2 games in San Diego in April and off to a rough start so far.
And you got to get one of these next 2 because they play tonight and they play I believe, a day game tomorrow.
Correct, yeah.
And because they're in front of you in the standings right now.
Right. Yeah, because the Padres are 1 game back of the Dodgers currently. Yeah.
And I don't think the Giants' schedule is it getting any easier going forward.
I mean, they haven't even played the Dodgers yet, so they got 13 games with them left.
Can't wait for that.
And then another 7 with the Padres. So, yeah, they got some work to do. I think they'll be okay as long as they can start scoring some runs. But that's gonna have to happen.
I mean,
soon.
can it start happening soon?
Yeah.
It's like, come on.
Like to yesterday, please. You know? Moving on to the Champions League final, where our PSG dominated Inter Milan 5-0 on Saturday.
Give me a Y, give me an E, give me an F. Yeah!
Vamos!
Claiming their first Champions League trophy in club history.
Awesome.
How about it?
Awesome. High five. And thank you to the fans for voting
Yeah, they picked
us or voting for us to be our team.
Yeah,
I cannot
absolutely.
Speak right now.
Largest margin of victory in a European Cup final ever. 5-0. Man of the match, Desiree Doué, 2 goals, 1 assist. Player of the tournament, Ousmane Dembele, 8 goals, 6 assists in 15 games. But yeah, I mean, the game, they ran circles around Milan. It was incredible to watch. You showed up to meet me, Sal, and Marty at Barnhouse midway
I
through
mean,
the game.
so the final score, like you said, was 5-0.
Yeah.
Right when I was able to go on my lunch because I have an hour lunch for
Yeah.
work, so I was able to go to Barnhouse and hang out for a little bit and watch some of the game. And right when I walked in, right before I walked in, they scored the 3rd goal. It was 3-0. I'm like, damn, of course they missed a goal. And I was like, all I wanted to see was like 1 goal.
Right.
Luckily, I was able to see 2.
Yeah.
And I was like, gee, this is crazy.
Yeah, they dominated. And Garrett watched this game at a cool bar in San Diego.
Well, you said was it a PSG bar, kind of?
It was the PB Ale House, but Haley and I just stumbled upon it and walked in, and all the screens were going, and everyone was decked out in PSG gear.
Fuck yeah,
That's
I
awesome.
love it.
And we showed up about the same time you did. It was maybe 5 or 10 minutes after the 3rd, so we saw 2 more.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, ooh, they're getting rolled.
Yeah.
I mean, shout out to PSG. I honestly, you're much more of a fan than I am because you've kind of.
I've been
It's
watching.
hard for me to watch like I've said before. What I've learned is the Champions League games tend to be on Tuesdays or Wednesdays.
Yeah, middle of the day.
And
Not ideal for
me.
you.
It's not. I can't do it. I just
Yeah.
can't watch them. So
Yeah.
I've always lived vicariously through you and Sal, who tend to watch them. Sal manages to watch them at work. I'm not even sure if Sal actually works. Sal just
Self-managed.
I think Sal just watches soccer games for
For a living.
Which, hey, let me know how you do that. I'd love to join that.
Yeah, let me get in on that.
But all jokes aside, I'm really happy. I'm happy for us, but I consider you way more of a fan than I am. But I know we're both.
It was a fun season this year for PSG, and I got some. I mean, they're just the 2nd French team ever to win a Champions League. Marseille did it back in 1993, and they had literally a dream season. They won every competition they entered. 4 trophies. They won the French Champions Trophy, the French Cup, the French League, and Champions League all in the same season, which doesn't happen very often. I mean,
It's great.
the term is a treble where you win your League Cup, your league season, and then the Champions League, which is like pretty much you're up in the upper echelon of all-time teams. So they did that, and some. Also for Luis Enrique, the coach, who's been here for now 2 seasons. No, 3.
Was he there when we saw?
He was not there, yeah. So 2 seasons. Second Champions League trophy. He won one with Messi at Barcelona back in 2015. Mm-hmm. Also for Marquinhos, who's the captain. He's been with PSG for 12 years since he was 19 years old.
Awesome.
And he fifth year as a captain, and he gets to raise a European trophy for the first time.
Wow.
Also, last thing is that PSG. So the group stage is 8 games long. After the 5th game, they were literally in must-win mode because they were falling apart, and they won the last 3 games of the.
Edmonton ties it up. Garrett, are you okay?
Oh boy,
Are you okay?
A lot of game left.
A lot of game left. A lot of game left.
A lot of hockey.
So through the first 5 games, they scored just 3 goals, and they were looking like they were going to go out early. And they won the last 3 games of the group stage. And overall, through the rest of the tournament, 12 games, they scored 35 goals. So basically 3 per game.
Damn.
So just completely turned the season around. Basically starting in like mid-December is when they just flipped a switch. So unbelievable year for them. And probably, you could argue, the most improbable Champions League winner of all time. Because,
Really? Wow.
I mean, I think about like they... So Mbappe leaves in the summertime. He's their,
Well, Mbappe's like the
best player in the world, you could argue. It goes to Real Madrid. So going into the season, their odds are not great. And then they're on the brink of being ousted 5 games into the Champions League season. And, I can't even imagine what their odds were at that point.
Yeah.
So just the fact that they were able to turn it around and turn it into a championship was insane. Yeah.
Well, I mean, especially for Paris.
Yeah.
That being the first championship in their history.
Yeah.
And I can only imagine what. I saw videos of what the streets of Paris looked like after. Like they were going after it.
Oh, it's nuts.
Days after the
Yeah.
World Championship. Like they just kept it going.
It's crazy.
But first time you ever do something, and it's, and I understand with soccer, it's you're playing for a city, you're playing for a country.
Yeah.
It's like you're playing for.
It's huge.
It's like a place where people live. You know what I mean? And it means so much to them.
Yeah, it's also interesting because French football is like very, very highly regarded as a country, but their league that they have is not the greatest out of like the top European leagues. But for PSG to finally break through and give France something to cheer for.
So I made the joke at Barnhouse, which I gotta say, I've only been there it's probably my second or third time being there. It is a good atmosphere for watching. I would say anything really.
Yeah.
There wasn't a huge crowd, but it was also Champions League, and Champions League here isn't.
Yeah.
I'm sure for like a bigger like Super Bowl or NBA Finals would be big, but I enjoyed myself there. It was nice.
It's a cool little hangout. It's an interesting spot. I don't know if it would be a place I would go to often, but I think it's a cool little hangout where it's got a little bit of everything. It's got, they got the coffee, they got the beer, they got the lounge area.
They have pina
TVs.
colada slushies there.
Yeah, they do.
What?
I should have had one, although I had to go back to work.
Could have been a disaster.
Could've been.
They don't have any high proof spirits, so it would have been a low proof drink.
Gosh,
So
that's all right.
yeah,
Oh, actually, that's a good point.
yeah. So you could have done it.
Good to know. Good to know. Great time. I'm really glad I was able to.
Yeah, I'm glad you
make
were
it
able
over.
to make it too.
It kind of all the stars lined because I went to lunch a little later and yada yada. So I was
Perfect.
able to work out. I was glad that we were able to watch a little bit of it together. And I think it was really funny, Garrett, that you said that you went to a bar and there was
Yeah,
a
it
game
was
on.
like,
great
yeah.
timing.
Kind
Yeah.
of just the perfect timing. Yeah. So, like I've said all season, but jokingly, vamos PSG.
Vamos.
Vamos PSG.
They got it done.
Got it done.
Last but not least for the news, Stanley Cup playoffs. We have already kind of bantered a little bit, but we were looking at game 1 right now. Oilers just tied it up, and we got about 10 minutes left, give or take.
Yeah.
Give or take.
Yeah.
In game 1, this is of course a rematch, like we mentioned, where last year the Panthers won 7 games after leading 3-0.
You know that I think I said last week that Game 7
Yeah.
for the Panthers being up 3-0, like, dude, if you lose this, you're going to go down in history as, like, the all-time.
Yeah.
You had to win that.
You had to.
Was
Was that game at home, or was it in Edmonton?
I believe the Panthers were at home, yeah.
Because that helps.
Yeah.
But if you were on the road, Game 7 up
Right.
3-0, and you blow it, you're like, dude.
Well, and the Panthers had lost in the Cup Final the year before. This is their third straight
That's
time
true.
in the final, so that would have been a really because they've had some amazing seasons. They're kind of like remember when Tampa Bay had their run with started with like that amazing year where they blew it in the first round, and then they got back to the Cup and they finally won. But it could
Although
have
I'll argue with what I just said, because if Florida would have lost last year in Game 7 at home, that would have been worse.
been
Because you go Game 7 on the road, you lose. Yeah, you're up 3-0. You felt like you could have won. You should have won the series, but you were on the road. If you were at home, that makes it that much worse.
right, no doubt.
So luckily for them, they won.
They did.
And also, I'll say, we've watched back-to-back years at least one Stanley Cup game. I think it's a tradition.
I love it. Yeah.
Tradition now. I think that's all I'm saying.
Oh, well, cheers to that for sure.
Cheers.
Yes, sir. Cheers.
All right, NBA playoffs, Gage, take it away.
All right. So the New York Knicks, my Knicks,
Sorry, buddy.
they extended the series with a 111-94 win in Game 5 last Thursday. But the Pacers wrapped up the series in Game 6 on Saturday, winning 125-108. Pascal Siakam, kind of surprisingly, won Eastern Conference Finals MVP because I think he kind of...
He had a really good last game. Did he have 3 games with over 30 in the series, if I'm not mistaken?
Great question. I do not know the answer.
I know he had that big game, like 3 or 4. I think it was probably 4 where he had like 39.
I guess you just assume it would probably be Halliburton just
Right.
because he's the guy. And, of course, I know Game 1 was a while ago compared to Game 6.
Right.
With the whole choke thing.
Yeah, right.
They barely won that game anyways. Pascal Siakam,
Dude, he's built a nice game.
a pretty good career. This
Yeah.
is his second NBA final appearance.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say he's a Hall of Famer already, but like he's especially if the Pacers win,
Right.
he's given himself a good resume to maybe
100%,
And
yeah.
he's still, I don't know how old he is. How old do you think he is?
If I had to guess, he's like 28, 29. So he's got some career left.
Let's see.
If he's over 30, I'll be a little surprised.
Oh man, you would think I could get it right there. He's a 6'8". How old is he? He's 31.
Oh, he is 31. Okay. He's a little older than I thought, but still, yeah.
I mean,
he's had a really nice
he's a
career.
solid player.
He's definitely been an all-star, right? Like a couple times maybe?
Let's see. 3-time All-Star.
3 times? Okay.
Yeah. Of course, NBA champion against, not to rub it in, Bears Warriors.
Come on, dude. Chill.
Not to rub it in.
So, going back to the series MVP, did you see the ceremony where like Halliburton was like
Oh, he's
ready to
walking.
step in?
Oh, yeah, I did, yeah.
I guess there was 9 people that vote on it. They're like media members or something, and 5 of the votes went to Siakam and 4 to.
So it was close.
Yeah, it
Makes
was
sense.
close. Yeah, and I like you look at his numbers. He had 25 points on over 50% shooting for the series. Like that's not bad.
And also, let's not act like... I don't think going forward, because this whole Eastern Conference Finals MVP, Western Conference Finals MVP, I think it's only a couple years old. I think since probably 2022 when the Warriors...
That was the first year, I think. So this is the third or fourth.
This
year.
isn't going to be like how the NBA Finals...
No, it's not going to have the same.
I mean,
prestige.
it's still an award and it still means something, but it's not going to have that meaning to it.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, it's cool.
It's nice. It's cool, but
It's
like,
cool for the resume. Yeah, no, I agree.
I mean, it just makes sense, I guess. He averaged 25 points. Pascal Siakam did on 52% shooting for the series. So that's
a good series.
That's a good series.
I think Halliburton was something like 21 in like 9 or 10 assists,
Yeah.
which is nice too. But yeah.
It's the first finals appearance for your Indiana Pacers.
Oh, I gotta put the jersey on. What am I doing?
A jersey.
So Emerson
Reggie's in the house.
has this pretty clean jersey that he's had, I'm going to say, since maybe late high school, little post high school, something like that.
Yeah, very possible it was post, but yeah,
And
Reggie's here.
It still fits.
it's not bad. I got a little thicker, so it actually fits nice now.
You should wear this to work. Which is funny because you said your boss hates Reggie Miller in the Pacers.
He's not a fan. He's not a fan of Reggie.
I mean, could you? I mean, obviously, I guess probably it's a dress code.
God, I should wear it.
You should.
Not,
Seriously.
not tomorrow. Maybe their first home game or something like, which is probably gonna be like next Monday. Or
But, I
Tuesday.
mean, I think you should wear it with the plan of changing out of it because he's not gonna let you wear it. Because it's great. You know who I forgot. No, I'm glad you're wearing this because it reminds me. The only Pacer fan I know,
You know a Pacers fan?
Rob Stevens.
Oh my God, he is!
Right?
Holy shit!
I
Shout
thought
out
about
to
him
Rob.
I thought about him a few days ago. I'm like, wait, he's actually.
God
Well,
damn.
I think he goes back and forth with the Pacers and the Warriors depending on who, because he's from I think he's from this area.
Yeah,
But he claims the Pacers.
he does.
Yeah,
I know him. He's a Pacers, Padres,
Dolphins
fan, and I think
He's definitely a Padre.
And I think he kind of likes the St. Louis Cardinals too a little bit. But yeah, I think those three are super.
No, he's big time Pacer fan.
Yeah.
So
That's hilarious.
So
I
shout
forgot
out to
about
Rob, your old.
Old neighbor.
Old
Dude,
neighbor.
I miss that. He was such a nice guy. I hope he's doing well.
Great guy.
Just put it out
I
there. Yeah.
grew up knowing him, obviously, and the
Yeah.
whole thing. So, shout out to Rob. 'Cause, being from around here, you don't know many Pacer fans.
Right.
You just don't. So, can you please wear us to work? Please.
I got,
try your best.
Yeah, I will.
It's just too good.
It is a clean jersey.
And you got this off AliExpress, right?
Oh yeah. Fucking less than $20.
And it's like
It's
just-
like nice stitching too.
Yeah.
Like this is a fucking
but
sweet jersey.
But it's just ugly enough yellow.
Right. Yeah, it is. They need to bring back this look, like the pinstripes.
Yeah.
I don't love their current uniforms.
This kind of reminds me of like Jermaine O'Neal too, like
yeah.
that kind of
Yep.
that kind of style.
Yeah.
And the Knicks, they fired Tom Thibodeau yesterday after 5 seasons. He took the Knicks to their first conference finals since 2000, though.
Where they lost with the Pacers.
They
Ironically.
lost to the Pacers.
You know what this screams to me is like when the Warriors fired Mark Jackson and they're just like looking for the guy to take their very talented group to the next level.
I mean, who I've heard, and I think it's pretty obvious, is Mike Malone.
Mike Malone, yeah.
Who is actually, Deb and I were talking about it last night, and she was like, I forget exactly what we said, but I think I either asked or she asked, like, where's Mike Malone from? And I think I did because she looked at
Oh,
that.
he's from like New Jersey or something.
He's born in New York.
No, he is in New York?
So
yeah.
Which makes so much sense because of his New York attitude.
Yeah. Oh, that could be an easy fit. I don't know that Mike Malone is like such an amazing coach. I mean, he had a great team a couple years ago. So I don't want to take away credit. He won a championship, but that team was amazing. So I don't want to give him too much credit at the same time.
But I think if you're a Knicks fan
That would be sexy.
and they hire Mike Malone, he's one of yours.
He's
one of yours.
Yeah.
He won a championship. He took a team who had never won a championship to win one. And the Knicks, let's be real, they practically had never won one because it's been the last 50 years.
Yeah, it was like
It's been a
1971
long-
or
Like Phil
two.
Jackson was playing with the Knicks at the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Phil Jackson won like 10 NBA championships as a coach since the Knicks last won a championship.
Right. Kind of feel bad for Tom Thibodeau because I know like he's not known as like an X's and O's guy necessarily. He's more of like a motivator / defensive minded head coach. But it's like they didn't realistically give him a team that was gonna win a championship. They're a very good team. Obviously, they made it to the conference finals, won over 50 games, but they didn't have the depth to hang with Indiana.
And
It's simple as that.
we'll see how this finals goes because I think we'll get to it, but I think it's going to go 5.
Yeah,
In the Thunder's way.
yeah.
I think if the Knicks probably would have played the Thunder, though, they probably would have been 4. I don't know if the Knicks could have even. Maybe their length could have done something against the Thunder.
That's my thing. I think stylistically, like I mentioned last week, I feel like maybe the Knicks, if they got through, they could have given them maybe a different look, you know. But yeah, I mean, I think it feels like the Thunder's here.
Yeah. So a little NBA Finals preview. Our picks, like we just said, we're both going to go Thunder in 5.
Yeah, I got Thunder in 5.
I wanted to be that guy and say Thunder in 4, but like I said last week, it's only few and far between that teams have swept in the NBA Finals. It doesn't happen that often, so I thought, Pacers are going to get one.
Yeah.
They'll probably get
They got to.
They'll probably get one like in Game 3, like maybe one of the games at home. You would hope that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But
Have you been checking on NBA playoffs at all?
I actually haven't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been watching a lot.
There's been
Not a
some
lot
good
of basketball
series.
this year.
Yeah, there's been some good series. But conference finals were kind of a little underwhelming. I felt like, but some good games though overall. But yeah. So we all have our picks in our little group. You're going Pacers. Thunder in 5. Me as well. Sal's got his Thunder in 6, and Dev going Pacers in 7. Bold move there.
and Sal, did we mention this last week? He's already won.
Sal has it wrapped up. Yeah, I think he did technically need to get some points in the last round.
Because he had a hell of a second round.
He did have a big time second round.
Huge second round.
Yeah, me and Devin both had the same picks in the last round. We both went OKC in 7 and Indiana in 6, so we both got 3 points. You nailed OKC, and none of us got OKC on the dot in games, but you did get them winning. You were the lone one with the Knicks, and they lost, of course. But
Knicks in 7 still hurts. Still hurts.
So yeah, Sal 13 points, and the rest of us are all tied at 8.
Yeah.
Going into the finals. So good job, Sal.
Yeah. Hey, dude knows ball.
It could be a banner year for you with the Thunder winning the championship too, potentially.
And I don't want to hear about him how he has it bad as a sports fan. Okay, because you're gonna have it pretty good probably in like a week. So I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
One thing I will say about Sal and his picks is he has picked the Pacers all throughout the playoffs.
Yeah.
And of course he's not going to go against his own Thunder, which makes sense.
Yeah, and they're heavy
But
favorites.
it would just be so funny if the one series he didn't pick the Pacers was his Thunder losing in the
Yeah, right. That would be wild. I mean, on paper, like the easy take, and I feel like it's very legitimate, is that the Pacers are the Thunder, but the Thunder are just like the Thunder are the Pacers, but just like a little bit better at everything. Yeah.
Exactly.
Like they both have good depth, but I mean, the Thunder are an amazing defensive team. They have one of the best superstars in the game right now.
Yeah.
It just feels like could be a potential mismatch for Indiana.
So Thunder Pacers, the finals. It's not the sexiest matchup.
Not at all.
And also, I do have to say that the Pacers, I slept on them all throughout our contender rankings, throughout all their picks. I was not a Pacers believer. I'm still not believing in them in the finals, but I think not really.
Yeah.
I don't even know if Pacer fans really believe in the Pacers in the finals. But I do apologize to the Pacers because I did not think they really had it in them. And it's not even out of spite of the Kings trading Halliburton, which just, it hurts. It hurts really bad because we had him. He's gone, but I'm glad that he's flourishing somewhere else and making it to the NBA Finals. But I don't think, this isn't obviously a sexy matchup. I think people wanted the Knicks because of the New York big market. I know NBA and ESPN's not really loving this because we'll probably talk about the viewing after it's over because I don't think it's going to be that large. I could be wrong.
It could be. I think NBA fans are obviously interested because some new teams.
Potential new dynasties sprouting.
I like the chances
OKC.
for OKC to really put together a couple good seasons.
They're young. Not everybody has to get paid so soon.
Yeah.
Unless they go after Giannis.
I think that would be a mistake, honestly.
Yeah, we talked
Thinking
about
it, yeah.
Unless they want to just give all the picks they have left over. I
Right.
would agree because if they win this year,
It's like, what do you have to change?
yeah, why would you change anything?
Yeah.
That kind
Force
of thing.
someone else to change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe if they lose to the Pacers for some reason, even then if they lose, I don't think you feel like you need to get Giannis.
If you lose, there would be some concerns because you'd be like, you were the heavy favorite. Like, what went wrong?
I guess it depends on how you would lose. Like if you lost down low, then maybe you need Giannis down low.
Yeah.
Like that. It's the only reason why I could see them going after Giannis and giving up the draft stock that they have or players that they have.
Right. Yeah, it'll be interesting. I really, I like this Pacers team, and I'm happy that they've been able to accomplish things that most people didn't expect. But I cannot really see it as far as them beating the Thunder.
No, I can't either.
Just on paper, they're just not there.
Yeah.
The Thunder are incredible. Minus 750 to win the series.
That's
Coming in, which is pretty big margin.
like what's a normal when it was equal teams like 150?
Well, if it
Minus
was a
250?
small, if it was a small margin, it'd be in the minus 100s for the favorite.
Yes.
For those who don't really know betting odds, like minus 750 means if you're betting on the Thunder to win, you have to put down $750 to win 100.
Yeah.
So that there's really, I guarantee there's gonna be nobody putting money on the Thunder because that's just really low value.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, Garrett, you did say that you have not watched much NBA this year, which is fine, or the playoffs. But, I know you like to pick and choose favorites. So, OKC versus the Pacers. Who do you got, and who do you think's gonna win, or who do you want to win, or either or?
I probably would go for the underdog and go Pacers.
Yeah.
The Pacers. How many games?
Stone plays for the Thunder though. I don't know if you.
I do remember Stone.
He's
I don't know.
balling
I
now.
feel like when I was really watching basketball, I was not a fan of OKC with the Warriors.
Oh yeah,
It's
we
like,
had a little mini rivalry.
So,
you could
yeah.
argue.
and just like maybe their old team, but
Yeah.
yeah, it is always cool though to see different teams in the mix,
Yeah,
especially making it to the finals. So
It's going to be what 7 straight seasons with a new champion? Is that
Yeah.
the number? Yeah,
That's
which is cool.
So
Yeah.
Pacers and how many games?
6.
Ooh.
Okay. Hey,
I like.
at home, you like your chances at home to clinch
Oh,
the
because
series
it would be at
rather
home
than
in Game
being on
6,
the
yeah.
road. OKC, so
Dramatic finish.
not a bad pick. Another Halliburton off the back rim goes 10 feet up in the air and drops in
Yeah.
to win the finals.
Yeah.
That'd be funny.
Honestly, I think if the Pacers can get it to a 6th game, that would be a win for them.
That would be.
Like that would be.
Create some drama.
We don't love
Some
moral
tension.
victories, but
Yeah,
that was
but like from a non-fan perspective, like I think
it'd be impressive.
that would be something that would be that would surprise me a little bit, I guess.
Yeah.
Ooh, fuck.
So by the next time we see you guys, there will be a new NBA champion.
That's right.
And I think it's gonna be the Thunder. Based off what I've seen, they
Just feeling it.
don't fuck around.
You know, the fact that we're like, I think everyone's thinking that could have a little
Yeah.
effect. You know, hopefully it doesn't get in their head. You know, I think there are.
Would you be shocked if this series went Game 1, Pacers win, and then OKC wins the next 4?
Okay, so I actually
Just like the reverse when OKC wins the finals. The
I
first
actually think that I don't know what the line is, but Pacers money line in Game 1 because of the nerves could be a good bet. Pacers money line Game 1 could be a good bet, and honestly, like if you just want to throw like fucking $20 on Pacers plus like they're like plus 550 or something to win the whole thing, that wouldn't be a terrible bet either.
You know, it's the whole rest versus rust
Yeah.
because the Thunder have not played since last week.
Yeah. So they've been sitting around. I think the Pacers,
I think it's tough when you're sitting around.
I think that
you
Game
lose
1
your mojo.
Yeah.
You lose that
Yeah.
intensity.
It's because is rest important? Yes, but is kind of being the team that's on fire,
Right.
Right.
That
playing more
mindset.
games.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you hang out too long.
Yeah, exactly.
And you got 2 young, like kind of inexperienced teams, if you will, going into their first finals ever. They're gonna be some nerves.
Yeah.
And I mean, Pascal Siakam is actually on Indiana, who's actually won a championship.
Yeah.
And I don't think anyone on either team other than that has won anything significant that I can think of.
So it's like a lot of these guys first time.
Pretty much,
Like joining
yeah.
the final?
So I think Indiana could be a sneaky upset pick in Game 1 specifically.
Okay.
And then as the series goes,
Yeah.
those nerves kind of tend to shake out. But
Kind of like when OKC got smoked against the Wolves in Game 3 or 4, and then OKC came back and
They're like,
okay,
yeah, we're good.
we needed that slap in the face,
Yeah.
and now we're really gonna
Sometimes
buckle
you need
down.
to take you need to take that L.
yeah,
Exactly.
for sure.
A little reality check.
So our season predictions recap.
Yeah.
Which luckily you reminded me that I actually had this in my computer. We normally have it in this purple notebook, which I've had since we started.
You know, I love your purple notebook, but you can save things on the computer
No.
too.
I
I
like
like save a lot.
A
of
lot of
things.
things. It actually doesn't take any paper. No pens either.
I like to write things down. It means more to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just makes more sense.
I respect nostalgia.
I do respect it too.
Thank you.
It's old school. You
So-
can feel it. You can smell
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
You can look at
Like I
it.
told you guys earlier, I have my 2020 NBA predictions in here, the first page,
Fucking dig it.
and I picked the Clippers.
Some people have
I picked
journals,
the
other people have
Clippers.
purple notebooks full of sports info.
So our 2025 NBA predictions.
Yeah, from the top. I mean, we did. We always do Kings and Warriors over under on wins. Kings were at 46.5, which in hindsight sounds like too high, but
I'm surprised I went over.
I went over too. But I mean, they made moves. I mean, they got DeRozan. Obviously, no one was gonna anticipate them trading away De'Aaron Fox in the middle of the season. So that was a little bit of a
I don't
blow.
even really want to talk about that.
But what did they end up with? It definitely wasn't 46.
No, it's probably
Um,
43,
Standings.
something like that.
40.
40, yeah, jeez.
So 40.
I'm really surprised I went.
Yeah. Would you go for the Warriors? So the Warriors were 43.5.
I went over.
You went over and you nailed that. I went under.
Okay.
I was not feeling super stoked on this team, but
And this
they also made a move.
This was before me knowing Jimmy Butler was going to be on the team.
yeah, true. Yeah. So I went over. You got at least one of those.
Yeah.
Who was your top seeds in each conference?
In the East, I had the Celtics. In the West, I had the Thunder, which, of course.
Yeah, I had the same, and Thunder were the one. Celtics finished second, so we weren't too far off. Only 3 games back of Cleveland.
Yeah.
Teams to make the playoffs that didn't make it last year, who'd you go with?
In the West, I had the Grizzlies. In the East, I had nobody.
Okay, so you only had one overall.
Yeah.
Grizzlies did make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, they did. I had the Kings and Grizzlies. Kings obviously flopped. And then I had, how about playoffs or that were in it to not make it from last year?
Teams that will miss playoffs that were in. Or no, sorry.
So teams that made the playoffs that you didn't think were going to make it this year.
So I had teams that will make the playoffs that didn't last year. I put the Grizzlies in the Western Conference.
Yeah. And then teams that the second one.
That
so
will
you had
miss
the Clippers,
the playoffs.
yeah.
The Clippers.
Yeah.
And then in the East, I also had nobody.
I put the Clippers also. I had the Lakers too, but both those teams made it. So we didn't do great on that.
Those ones are tough.
Yeah. All right, so conference finals matchups. I had Celtics Knicks. I forgot that I picked the Knicks, to be completely honest. I also had Thunder Mavs. So I got 2 out of 4. How about you?
I also had Celtics Knicks, which I was also surprised I picked the Knicks. And then I had Nuggets versus Thunder.
Okay, so we're about the same. Finals matchup, Celtics versus Thunder was my pick. Obviously got the Thunder right, and you had Celtics Thunder as well.
I did.
And we both had the Celtics beating the Thunder in the finals.
Yeah, sorry, Sal.
Yep. But
We were wrong.
Yep.
Jason Tatum was my Finals MVP. I thought
I did the same.
finally
Yeah.
get one.
Yeah.
My league MVP was actually SGA, so I'm proud of myself for picking that.
Yeah, nice.
Like I told you earlier, I always pick Luka, which you picked.
I picked Luka. Yeah.
My defensive player of the year was Victor Wembanyama, which I think if he didn't get hurt,
Very good chance he
was
would
a
have won it.
foregone conclusion.
Yeah, I had him as well.
And then my rookie of the year, I picked Zach Edey for the Grizzlies.
you?
I went off the beaten path a little bit.
I wouldn't be surprised if he got some votes. It was Stephon Castle, right? Who won it?
Yes.
Yeah. I picked Zachary Risache.
You only picked him because you like to say the last name. Let's be real.
I mean, was he the first pick or the second pick? First.
Yeah, sounds about
Yeah,
right.
he was up there at least.
Top 3 for sure.
Definitely wasn't Rookie of the Year candidate though. All right.
Those are the predictions.
Yeah.
Or
Another
the
season
prediction
almost
recap.
in the books.
Oh, can you believe it?
I mean, this series could have gone on for another 2.5 weeks. So,
I know. I
don't expect it, but
I looked at it and I just hate how they do the every 3 days.
yeah, it's very dragged on.
I understand it because you want the optimal performance out of all the players.
Right.
But it's like, come on.
I think a reasonable thing to do would be like when you're in one city, you have one game in between days, and then if you're traveling, you put 3 days.
I would agree.
Or 2 days.
I would absolutely agree.
Yeah.
With that, for sure.
But they definitely like to drag it out.
Last thing I want to mention with the NBA personally is the Orlando Magic. They're rebranding.
Are they?
New uniforms, new court, new logo. It's all reminiscent of how they looked. In the
I heard they're
90s.
going back to like pinstripes are going to be a big part of it. Right?
Pinstripes,
Yeah.
kind of like Penny Hardaway, Shaq days a little
Yeah.
bit. To me, I think this was. And I know Garrett, like I said, you're a Jersey guy. These look so much better than their previous jerseys. I thought the old Dwight Howard looking uniforms were one of the ugliest uniforms in the NBA. I just did not like them at all. I
Yeah,
thought
they weren't great.
disgusting,
Yeah.
terrible, not good at
I
all.
mean, they've basically been rocking kind of that same look for a while.
For a
right?
while.
Yeah.
So I'm really glad they're finally doing something about it because I think they kind of feel like they're a team on the rise. Would you?
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. I mean, they
Paul
got a chance to
Banchero-
be.
Paul Banchero is
He's amazing.
nice.
Yeah,
He's really good.
he's got a chance to be a
So
superstar.
I just and the Magic are a franchise who have been to an NBA Finals twice since they've been a franchise.
Yeah.
You know, early '90s and of course in the late 2000s with Dwight Howard.
Yeah.
So I think it was a long time coming, and I don't mind them kind of going back to like '90s-esque.
I think there's this trend that I like where it's like you're going like 80s, 90s, but you're modernizing it in a
Yes,
way.
exactly.
Yeah. Because the late 90s, early 2000s was a little rough. I mean, there's some nostalgia there for sure,
of course.
but it's definitely like some colors
Not
and
good.
some fonts and whatnot
Yeah.
that were not good.
Colors, numbers, fonts, bagginess.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, that's another story.
really baggy.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. Like the Kings all gold uniforms.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Those were not good.
So Garrett, I want you to check them out. The Orlando Magic uniforms. They're pretty nice. So it's really cool.
Yeah.
It's about time because they were just, I couldn't stand them. Personally, I know I nitpick a little too much about certain things.
Yeah.
Overtime.
We got overtime in Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final. Gotta love it. On that note,
Yeah,
let me
those
check.
ones right there. So that's what they're
Oh
going.
yeah. No, those are
That's what
sweet.
they're going to?
Those are sweet.
Way
Yeah.
better. Those are way
And
better.
like the more because they've been rocking pinstripes, but those are more pronounced. They
Yes.
got a few more.
traditional
Yeah, I
pinstripe.
dig
Yeah.
the white, and I dig that the magic
are
going
way-
across
Yeah.
the chest, like the
Way
diagonal.
better. Way better.
Sometimes you don't need to change it.
Yeah.
Those are going to go.
I know some, people want change or they want to mix
Those
it up. but-
uniforms are going to go crazy at frat houses in college.
Oh, for sure.
100%. You're going to see Ben Caro jerseys everywhere.
And probably some Shaq.
Or that
Shaq
too. I mean, of
throwbacks,
course.
yeah.
Shaq.
They're cute.
Is it that time already?
I think it is.
It's last call
What do you got?
in the news studio. Let's see.
I don't really have anything.
I wanted to mention Corey Perry. Actually, I missed.
Fuck that guy.
So he's making his 5th Stanley Cup Final appearance in the last 6 seasons,
Yeah, it's insane.
with Dallas, Montreal, Tampa Bay, and Edmonton twice.
Yeah.
He has lost all 4 of those previously, with hopes to win this series with Edmonton this series.
Yeah.
But he did win a Stanley Cup with the Ducks back in 2006, I believe.
Yeah, I think it was 06.
So I'm going to ask you guys, since you guys are the hockey guys more than I am, is he a Hall of Famer with all these appearances and what he's done?
Well, he won I want to say he won a Hart Trophy.
Yeah, he did win a Hart Trophy.
Yeah, so no, he had an amazing career. He's been a role player on all of these last
Of course, he's
5
not-
teams.
yeah.
He's not a superstar anymore. But he had a time in his career where he was awesome.
Garrett, what would you
Who's
say?
talking about?
Corey Perry.
Corey Perry.
Oh, that asshole.
Hall of Famer? Corey Perry?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
Okay.
Let's
no,
see.
Not a Hall of Famer. Yeah,
Now with 6 Cup appearances?
So it was 07, and it was second season that he won a Stanley Cup.
No, supporting actress.
Supporting actor.
Okay. No, that's fair.
You know what? Like looking at his numbers too, because that's a big thing as far as getting
I think
into
he's
the Hall of
been
Fame.
lucky with the teams he's played for.
He's a borderline potential Hall of Famer, but like
Do we think a second cup would help him, or he was only a...
it wouldn't hurt. Definitely wouldn't hurt. I don't know if it would make a huge difference though.
Okay.
I could see him maybe getting in like down the road, but he's not like a shoo-in by any means. Yeah.
Just wanted to ask
Yeah.
you.
No.
Also, Garrett,
I never really thought about it.
I want to ask you, because you haven't been on, obviously, since Ovechkin broke the goals record.
Oh, yeah.
What are your thoughts on Ovechkin and the goals record being broken?
I mean, I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you?
Oh, yeah.
You're an Ovechkin guy?
Yes.
Okay.
Because his style of play warranted, earning it rightfully.
Yeah.
There were no
Yeah.
excuses or exceptions. It's that dude's badass and he did it
Yeah.
at the age he does. As long as he did it to the age he has.
Yeah.
And still chased it in modern hockey, right? I mean, that's always the big battle is Gretzky hockey to what hockey is now.
Right.
That's what he says all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, with the gear and the sticks, I mean, everything has changed so
Yeah.
much, and the style of play
Right.
has changed a lot. But it's that dude does it all. I would not want to challenge Ovechkin at any aspect of hockey.
Right.
He'll outshoot you, but then he'll beat your ass too. He'll run you over like a train.
His-
it's
yeah,
damn,
his,
Gretzky wouldn't run you over like a train. Gretzky had guys hit for him.
Right.
Ovechkin hits dudes.
Right.
So it's that will be the next thing. Is who can do it like Ovechkin, where it's you're a little bit of everything. Ovechkin was a tight end that had hands.
Yeah.
He's a big boy.
And, yeah, he's a big boy. Yeah.
Now in his prime, he was not afraid to throw
And
his body
he
around.
was not
Yeah.
afraid of anybody,
Yeah.
and he didn't let anybody punk him, and he didn't have anybody do his fighting
Yeah.
like a lot of Gretzky did.
Yeah.
But I mean, I respect Gretzky for doing it the way he did in that era too, though.
Did you think, maybe not, obviously not the last few years, but let's say 10 or 12 years ago, did you think Ovechkin or anybody would break that record from Gretzky?
I mean, it seemed kind of impossible. Because I guess the thing was the longevity of being
Right.
in the league at this pace. So it's but you look at Ovechkin, you're dude, you're going gray.
Yeah, the fact that
You're
he's
playing with
38,
teenagers
39,
now.
putting up 40-plus goals a year still.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. So glad to witness that.
Yeah.
When it did happen.
Did you watch it live?
Yeah.
Oh, I know. Did you think that they should have waited to do the ceremony, or you think right after it happened?
I'm always a ceremony after things. I don't like breaking up the game. Like,
It's kinda
I get
weird.
that, there are big things. I know they do it like in basketball sometimes with like LeBron and shit, but
Yeah.
it's like let the game finish out. It's like it's a normal season game. If those people want to hang out and see it, cool. You're screwing up the TV time anyways. It's
Yeah.
like I don't know.
It's definitely a recent trend because, like, I don't remember really seeing that until. Well, I guess they did for Barry somewhere. Baseball's a little different because it's a slow-paced game.
just
but,
to kind of pause it.
yeah.
Well, I don't think
It's like stop hockey.
But, like, between that happening and then Steph's, like, three-point record,
Yeah.
I don't remember them stopping games for shit like that. I
Yeah.
thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I think I've said I don't really have a problem with it, but it does slow. Like I made the joke that there was 3 intermissions in that game because it took
Yeah.
so long.
Well, you got 30 minutes. It's like do it then. Like
Yeah.
you have
But-
time to do it.
But did he? They weren't close to intermission after.
No, it was, like, midway through the second period.
So-
It was, like, literally halftime.
I don't have a problem with it, but I did want to ask you what you thought because it was kind of at a weird time,
Yeah.
and it did it right after he did it, and I didn't wait till the intermission right after the game.
Yeah,
I
it's
respect-
the process.
Yeah, I respect that they're honoring history, but I
Yeah.
don't, like, I think there could be a better way to
Yeah.
to do it. I don't
To
know.
do it and move on.
Yeah.
It's a
But-
big process to like get shit on the ice and then get it off.
And you have Gretzky walk down.
Yeah, it's like man,
Everyone's
that's like a
family's
whole
on
almost
there.
45 minutes now that you're like pushing this game, and then I just think I'm like, how do you finish the rest of that game?
Right.
Like you,
No matter what
there's
team
all
you're on.
this drama and all this like
I gotta get my energy back up?
celebration. Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
it's like that's just gonna be like a practice game for everybody after
Yeah.
that. Like,
But it was nice seeing. I mean, the ceremony was nice,
yeah,
given whether it was during an intermission or not. I thought it was nice.
I
having
mean,
both-
yeah,
both
I love just watching the camera, like watching Gretzky's face.
Yeah.
Like, and
What did you think of the belly slide he did after he scored the goal?
Yeah.
That was pretty
Yeah.
hilarious.
Pretty good.
He's a child.
Uh,
He was enjoying it, as he should.
did you see that they like prematurely announced that next year was going to be his last season? And they like walked back, like the Capitals announced this.
Oh, really?
And they like walked back those comments apparently. Which is
I saw some
kinda
headlines of
interesting.
like his retirement. Is
Yeah.
he not retiring?
Well, it was going to be one more year that he was going to play. Supposedly, that's what they said, and then they were like, not
He's
so
done.
fast. Yeah.
He's going to want to get 900 goals.
I think that would be cool.
Although we talked about it, I think if they would have won the Stanley Cup this year, I could have saw him maybe
Yeah.
hanging him up. I broke
Yeah.
the goals record and won a cup on top of that on my second cup, that whole thing.
I mean, yeah, I don't think he'll be cut down soon. But
I
Jason,
mean, they were good this year.
They were really good. I mean, they had the best record in the Eastern Conference, so they had a really good team around them. I don't know that they were really built to win a cup. I think they proved that by losing in the second round. But yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't blame him if he was like, I'll get 900 and then.
a clean 900 to retire,
yeah.
just for the hell of it.
Well, because he even
yeah.
said like years and years ago, he's like, if I break the record, I'll retire on the spot, which is kind of hilarious.
Yeah.
But obviously that's
Just
not
walks
the case.
off, never puts the skates on.
Yeah.
But I think when you break a record, given how records can be broken, you kind of want to, give it, get a couple more from the point. that
Yeah,
you
you don't want
broke.
to be. Yeah, you don't want to be one over.
Well, he's got like
He's in a good,
Ovechkin's got a little more in him.
Well, he probably didn't even
He's
realize.
Russian, man. He'll go another.
Yeah.
He'll end up like Yarmir Yager and just like keep playing.
Probably didn't think he was really actually going to do it, and then
Right.
he's like still playing at
And
a
then
really
you get that like
high level when
adrenaline
you
of
do
like,
it.
damn, I did it.
Yeah.
exactly.
And you're still
What,
killing
like,
it.
what more can I do?
Right.
Yeah.
The Giants, they were down 5-0.
Woo!
Who's pitching today?
Love to see it. Love to see it. I'm not sure if I can see the pitching numbers. Oh, pitching for the Giants. Kyle Harrison.
Oh, Harrison.
started.
Yeah, did he get rocked?
Sean Jelly.
No, Jelly's back up. That's
Jelly's
right.
back. That's right. Last thing I want to mention, last call was the Seattle Mariners announced Randy Johnson's number 51 retirement in 2026,
That'll be cool.
and then Ichiro is also getting the same number retired in August.
Oh, that's right. I forgot they were both 51.
Are you okay with two of the same numbers being retired?
I think that's kind of cool,
I think-
actually. Yeah.
A little surprising that they gave Ichiro 51 in hindsight because.
Yeah, but Randy was still playing. It's like.
I see what you mean.
Yeah.
But you don't think like Randy Johnson was so good for the Mariners that they thought, hey, like we know you're like this prodigy, but we don't want to give you the number out of respect for this guy who played well for us at one point.
I no, because I mean Randy, I think he might have won a Cy Young for the Mariners, but he actually had his peak was with the Diamondbacks, which is the year that Ichiro came to the United States was 2001, and I think that was Randy's first or second year with the Diamondbacks, and he won a Cy Young that season, and then won like 2 or 3 more after that.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so it was. Yeah, I think timing wise, like let's say Ichiro, like Randy Johnson. Still, the thing that he did most of his best work with the Diamondbacks, even though it was a shorter stint than the Mariners, I think that factors into it. So yeah, I don't know that they ever would have blocked that off.
Yeah.
Until after he retired.
But nonetheless, I think it's really cool.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
And it's funny that those two legends for the Mariners are both getting the same number of time.
Yeah, it is kind of funny.
So,
Randy was fucking amazing.
and that's all I got for last call. Garrett, anything for last call? Another shot? Should we do another one?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
One more?
Send it.
You know, we'll see you next year at the Stanley Cup Final, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Repeat.
But it's
With
good to
the
have you
San
on.
Jose Sharks.
You know, it's good to have you on because if bold prediction,
Bold prediction.
that would be a very bold prediction.
Mark me 2026.
You know what I was thinking earlier today because I knew you were going to be here. I think is this the same couch that we started the podcast on?
I think you are
I
correct.
think I am correct.
Yeah,
Yeah,
in the corner at Dover.
I believe in the bedroom of Emerson is where some of the first ones.
Yeah, so I think we did the
because
first.
this was COVID time. Yeah.
Yeah, we did the first couple here, and then we moved it to my room.
Yeah,
So I
'cause
think
we
I-
need the studio vibes in the room.
Yeah.
Well, and needed the
Like the enclosure.
Yeah.
Because
We were playing around a lot.
Yeah, the sound of it might not sound great today because of how
Yeah.
open it is, but let us know.
But yes, no, this couch is. If this couch could talk, I'd say that we'd be in big trouble.
Yeah.
All right, for the final time on this episode.
Yes. And the first time in the studio, Garrett, thank you for joining us.
Cheers.
And with that, we will see you
Next time.
next time.
Peace.